President Trump has been visiting the UK, and you've probably seen all over the mainstream media about these huge anti-Trump protests and how the British people apparently don't want him in the UK. And surely no one could have missed this giant blimp of baby Trump with a smartphone in his hand flying over London. Except it wasn't quite what it didn't quite turn out to be what they advertised. It was a kind of disappointment, really. And imagine they fundraised 30,000 British pounds to get this blimp up in the air, which was nothing more than just a tiny balloon. A tiny balloon! You know, the organizers of the protest, they said they wanted to mock Trump with the tiny hands and the balloon.
He really doesn't like it when, for instance, people point out his very small hands. He doesn't like, I'm not into body shaming, but when it comes to Donald Trump, I think it's okay.
It turned out that the whole balloon was quite tiny itself. Anyway, let's move on to the more serious topic here now, because there were also pro-Trump protests that were organized to support Trump when he was in the UK. But it seems like Britain didn't kind of want them, so they just banned them and censored them. No, I'm not kidding you. They were allowing huge anti-Trump protests, but then a couple of thousand people want to come out in support of pro-Trump, and they get banned by the UK. So a bunch of Trump supporters were going to turn out for a pro-Trump protest, including David Curtin, a politician from the UKIP party in the UK, and he got told by British police that they had to put a Section 12 order on the protest, meaning that they couldn't gather, they couldn't protest, and if they did so, they would be liable to arrest. Now let's think about that for a moment. There were huge anti-Trump protests, encouraged by the London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who has said not so very nice stuff about President Trump. And so a couple of thousand pro-Trump supporters want to organize a pro-Trump protest as well in the same city. But they get denied, they get banned, they get censored, they're not allowed to have a pro-Trump protest. Meanwhile, the anti-Trump protests are allowed to protest against Trump. Something is not right here. This does not seem like a democracy to me. This is, this just shows that free speech is dead in the UK. And the great irony here is that just a couple of days earlier, the London Mayor Sadiq Khan had defended allowing the Trump blimp to fly above London by saying, a quote, "The idea that we limit the rights to protest, we limit the rights to free speech because it may cause offense to a foreign leader is a very, very slippery slope," unquote. So what the London Mayor is saying that they should allow, protests against Trump because free speech, and you shouldn't limit any speech because it might be offensive, because it's a slippery slope and so on. That's funny, because the British police arrested almost 3,500 people in 1 year for offensive comments online. Is it that we are seeing some kind of selective approach here? The people who are protesting against Trump, that's free speech. But those who are for Trump, or who perhaps make any kind of comment online that they don't like, that's not free speech. That's got to be banned. That's got to be censored, because that's very much what it seems to be what they're doing here in the UK. And it's not really surprising seeing the UK is turning more and more authoritarian, more and more communistic. Really, that's the honest thing to say, because you just see the hypocrisy. It's just staggering. And when they come to the point now where they're actually banning a pro-Trump protest, meanwhile allowing the anti-Trump protests, that's not democracy. That's dictatorship. That's authoritarian. They decide who they like and who they don't like. And sure, if you lived in Soviet Russia, sure, if you want to protest in favor of the Soviet government, sure, go ahead, no problem. But if you protest against the Soviet government, yeah, that would be off to the gulag for you. Similar to what they're doing in the UK. They're sending people off to prison for hate speech. Tommy Robinson is right now sitting a 13-month prison sentence for reporting on grooming gangs, which was apparently very inconvenient. It will seem very politically incorrect, so he was off to prison. So it very much seems like a very big double standard here, but that's what they do in authoritarian dictatorships. So what do you think, guys? Make sure to leave a comment below and hit the like button so this video gets more views. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell to get notifications whenever new videos come out. And thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you appreciate the work I'm doing, I need your help. I'm not bought and paid for like the mainstream media. I'm an independent journalist and I rely on you guys to help me keep going and producing quality content like this. So if you want to support my work at all, it's highly appreciated. I have over 40,000 followers on YouTube now, and if only 1,000 of you guys support me with $1 each a month, that'd be enough to help me keep going. So thank you so much, guys. I'll leave the links to my Patreon and GoFundMe in the description below. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you later. And now a huge thank you to my special Patreon supporters. I couldn't have done this without you. I really appreciate your help, guys.